what was your 7-7 at halftime? What do you tell your guys
At halftime, a few mistakes we had to get cleaned up, a few misfits, a few things in coverage, but for the most part, this game never changes. This game's about getting off blocks. It's about tackling. It's about covering. We just got to do our fundamentals. Our eyes had to be right. Everybody's got to do their job on every single play, one play at a time for 85 plays in a row. And there's not much else to it.
Could you evaluate how the inside backers did being
Yeah, Ernest had his first start, did a good job. Obviously, there's going to be some mistakes from a young guy, first time out there, and especially in that environment. It's a little different going to Memorial Stadium in a packed house, especially when you're from Nebraska. So Ernest made some mistakes. We'll get those cleaned up. Like I said the other day, he's going to be a fantastic player. He's going to continue to get better and better and better. Luke did a good job running the show when he was out there. Chris stepped in and took a lot of valuable reps for us. So I felt like they played a good game.
What's the opponent you play this week? Will your defensive scheme have to be a little bit different, or how much should we throw the ball out?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few tweaks in coverage, obviously. More formational stuff than anything because of some of the things they do. If you let them get in front of the sticks, it's going to turn into a track meet on that drive. So there's tempo situations you got to get ready for, formation stuff you got to get ready for, and then they have some interesting passes that put some players in conflict that we have to get ready for too. So it's a nice offense. They have a good scheme, and obviously the guy's been doing it for a while. He's got it pretty much perfected. So a lot of stuff to get ready for.
Did you like the look of the defensive line rotation a little bit more in game 2 than maybe what you used in game 1 in terms of snaps and personnel?
Yeah, I think that I think that the rotation was pretty good. I thought once again, some of those guys, Stefan and Devin showed once again that they played a good football game. Mosai got in there a little bit. Blaze and Jamari got in there a little bit. So I'd like to continue to bring some of those guys that didn't get as many reps along a little bit, but I was pretty happy with the flow of the rotation.
When you look at the 2 games, how do you feel about where your defense is?
Yeah, not good enough. Not good enough yet. Once again, not up to our standard. But I feel like this is a young group that's hungry, that wants to be good, that wants to win, wants to do things the right way, and I think that they'll continue to get better and better each and every week, and that's the exciting thing about this group.
Some of the new guys on the defense that transferred in, what's sort of the learning curve in the games? Like what were some things that you guys had to smooth out through 2 games that maybe you couldn't address in one game?
Oh, I don't know if it's the learning curve. I think it's just, practice, very controlled environment. The calls are coming in at a, moderate pace, those types of things. Then when they start coming in quickly, as the game picks up and the lights are shining in your face and the crowd's roaring and it's not the scout team anymore, your mind starts to drift a little bit if you're not locked in, so just probably getting locked in that environment and being able to operate within the different calls coming in.
Was it, now this is from a layman's standpoint, it looked like there was a little confusion pre-snap in the first half at times. Did you see that, or am I imagining things?
No, they did a pretty good job personnelling us and us getting in and out of different packages. So I think we got settled down as the game went along. But that's not on the kids at all. That's they had a nice way to personnel us a little bit. And so they were causing a little confusion that way. So probably a couple calls got in late, but that's not on the kids, yeah.
Thoughts on tackling from week 1 to week 2?
Yeah, we still missed a few out there, and some, unfortunately, most of the misses we've had the last couple of weeks have led to extending drives. We've got to do a better job leveraging the football right now. All levels of the defense, D-line, linebackers, DBs, everyone's got to do a better job leveraging the football. And when you leverage the football, those missed tackles, if you do get a missed tackle, they turn into 1 extra yard instead of 5 or 6 or plus. So we just got to do a better job leveraging the football right now.
How would you gauge Isaac Giffords' progress from where he was starting at the end of last year to game 1 to game 2 now?
Yeah, much more comfortable with his role, being out there with the starting group, communication-wise, feeling like he has some say. Kind of last year, you're a young guy and you get thrown in as quote-unquote non-starter that takes a starting role at the end of the year, and you're kind of listening and waiting and having other people help you out. Now he's able to communicate with everybody else. But I really like what Isaac's done the last couple weeks. Why does that happen? Well, like we said, if they sub a personnel grouping late, if they're in one personnel grouping in and we get them a call in, and then they sub a personnel grouping late, then we got to sub our personnel grouping in late, and when that group gets in there, then we got to give them a new call. So. I mean, it's a lot to do with everything. It's a lot to do with the tempo in which they sub and how long the officials give us the Iron Cross for. And sometimes that game goes fast and the officials don't see that sub coming in late, or they don't see exactly when our guys are coming in and they started a little quick. But we just got to get them in quicker.
How much changes when you don't have Nick?
How much what?
How much changes for you when you don't have Nick?
Oh, I think obviously when you don't have Nick out there, you don't have the same rotation. I think Nick makes everybody on the field feel at ease a little bit, which can't be the safety blanket, but I think he brings a calmness to everything because he's very calm in switching calls, making checks. He's really good communicator, and the guys trust him. Not that they don't trust the other guys, but he's just it's just a very calming factor when he's out there. On Nick? Whatever the training room tells me that the status is with him. So hopefully he's back very soon. Yeah, you talk to all those guys like that, that passion, that energy, it's like a fire, right? Used correctly, it can heat the house. Used incorrectly, it can burn the sucker down. So you just got to learn. I want that emotion, I want that passion, but you got to learn when and where, and you got to learn to use it to your advantage, not to your disadvantage.
Hey, how crazy is the college football world we live in now, where Van Treese is Buffalo's quarterback, and then this year you're going to see him again for Georgia Southern?
Yeah, I mean it's the Wild West right now. I'm not in charge of that. Obviously, there's a lot of advantages to the portal. There's a lot of disadvantages. There's some good, there's some bad for coaches and for players and families. But that's the world we live in, and that's just how we got to adjust.
What are the moments where you try to, back to the point about passion here, what are the moments where you try to teach those guys, I guess, checkers after a mistake and get themselves up?
Yeah, especially when you're playing defensive back, right? Every defensive back in the history of football since the beginning of time has given up a deep ball or given up a pass, right? And those guys got to be next. When you make a great play, my advice to all those guys is, if you never want to be wrong, you celebrate with your teammates. Spontaneous celebration, spontaneous emotion amongst teammates is my favorite part of football. It's one of the best pieces in college football. When you make it about yourself, it's usually wrong. That's when flags happen. That's when bad things happen. So as long as you're celebrating with yourself, with another teammate, everything's going to be good.
Any new black shots this week?
No, not yet.
Coach, you said that you guys are sort of there yet in that first game. What's the number one thing you guys have to move on to get to first game?
Right now, the things I addressed the defense with was, leveraging the football like we already talked about. That'll save us a lot. Finishing drives. Right now, they're playing hard. You always want more effort, right? But they're playing hard. So right now, thankfully, we don't have to correct that. We've got to correct a few technique issues, leveraging the football, and finishing on drives right now.
How do you think Stephon Wingate looked like he kind of came on for the second half?
Yeah, I thought Stephon played a really good football game. I think he's one of those guys we're talking about, just keeps getting better and better. And as he's probably more comfortable, just with exactly what he's supposed to do on every single snap, with every single look, he's going to continue to get better. But I thought he played a really good football game.
What do you think about that play he made recovering the fumble?
What's that?
What do you think about that play he made recovering the fumble back on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about, in the thing, and it hasn't come to fruition enough. But generally, the turnover aspect is, if you watch college football, if you watch NFL football, it's overthrows and tips. It's guys stripping the football out, and then it's just pure hustle to get to that tip, to get to that overthrow, to get to that fumble. And you love to see a guy, especially a big guy, hustling downfield and recovering one of those. I love ones-on-ones for the sheer fact that, you know, it may be differing on the offensive side. On the defensive side, like, you know what they're going to do for their base plays, but they can come out and do anything they want. So I don't care what we do. I just like seeing good guys, good blockers, blocking good defensive linemen. I like seeing good receivers running full speed routes on good DBs. I just like that part of the game where we can, you know, you don't have to have it be 80 reps, but, you know, 12 or 20 a day, where you're getting your ones and your twos, 10 reps apiece, really banging against a good guy, really covering a good guy, those types of things. I think that's invaluable.
Is the biggest benefit of that the tackling on game days, or is there something else in there that really translates?
Yeah, just because you're good on good doesn't mean you're live tackle, you know. So, but the reaction time, I think, for those guys making the tackles is a huge piece of it.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks.